Alright guys, welcome back to Victoria 3. It's currently 1843 in an America campaign here. Under government, I have already enacted multiculturalism, I've banned slavery, and I've enacted a dedicated police force here. We've gotten some good roles on our government. I've did some fancy political maneuvering, and we've done some good shit here. And we have okay bonuses and not that bad of a malice at the moment. What is this? What this is me testing out Anbeeld, the improved automation mod in Victoria 3, made by a Mr. Alderon Tyren, and Anbeeld's revision of AI. We're running both. Both mod developers in comments and on their main post have said that these mods work with each other. So this is a 2-in-1 video. We're basically seeing, can we supercharge the AI in other countries, in their GDPs. Looks like line do go up a lot more than it used to. And can the AI fully take control of our economy? I've only had the production focus set to AI only. You can set that in the normal game and with the mod here and disable auto build. Quite frankly put, I consider this button to be literal suicide. I know the person for the job. Why not him? So I very quickly, as you can see here, united most of the United States. Cocaine. We don't want peril to increase, really at all. So they're worried, so we're just going to mobilize and teleport to the front line. If you don't know what this is, basically, if with your regiments, if you defend and then advance on a front line immediately after, there's no travel time. You literally just teleport from anywhere on the world straight to the front line. It's ridiculous. We're just going to plow over them real quick. So takeaways, this whatever this AI manager does, absolutely is addicted to regulars. Circular expedition, we'll wait for nightfall. Swollen river. Yeah, okay. So we'll gain progress. We can declare more interest here. So we will declare Indochina. So we settled down here, and we gotten rid of malaria. Well, we have the tech and social here, quarantine, which removes all effects from malaria in your own colonies and states. Which this is a state in the United States of America, so this malaria shouldn't be affecting us. Cool. The AI doesn't seem to be totally running us into the ground. If we pause, we actually do gain money. So basically what we're doing is we're cycling until we gain a lot of money, turning this back on, boom, 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 of course, like you should be doing in the real game. From what I found, consistent expansion permanently is literally not possible. No way to open their canned food. We'll develop the canned food opener. And we're going to wait for nightfall. I don't like those odds. Slow and steady wins the race is how I see the Frontier expansion mission track. There's some events that can pop, which will make you... make it... we'll just let them leave in Colorado. But now that they're depleted... Yep, cool. Here, buildings. We're available to build gold mines. Maybe the AI will prioritize that at some point. Who knows? Explorer's life for me. We're at low peril, so we'll just progress and try to burn some peril off later. Unproductive trade routes. We'll cancel those. Expensive military goods. We don't care about what's expensive or not. nor about the low market access. That's not our job. We do have a lot of people in reserve, which are actual regulars. They're really spread out, so I'm not actually interested in getting them. They're gonna owe us an obligation if we come in. Absolutely not. Go screw yourself. I'm in debt. Not trying to fight the Great Britain over a literal freaking Garbo nation here in Indonesia. No offense if anybody lives there, but you know, I hope you understand that I'm not sending 500,000 plus men to go die of malaria in some Dutch East Indie jungle over the, you know, come on. We can't spare the time, and that guy knows better. We just want to progress. Here comes an election. Looks like the Democratic Party is about to just blow us out of the water, but this is fine, because as you can see here, literally the way I've gotten this turned, it's a rigged system, sort of like how America's current party is. We can actually probably, well, we don't want it done with the wig, but basically everybody who's being voted for is already in the government, so I'm not going to have to cycle anybody in and out. It's literally just the armed forces that is the odd man out. Everybody else is in government, so no matter who wins, pretty much everything stays the same. We'll let him say whatever he wants, because at this point we don't care if the Democratic Party gets some momentum. The bourgeoisie here, petite bourgeoisie, not that bad. Gold rush, spread the word, wait for nightfall. We don't care if they gain momentum, because we've already enacted the laws. It's already too late. Migration controls, we want as many people as literally as fast as possible. Public health system, private insurance wouldn't be bad. And we also want to eventually get proportional tax. Yeah, there we go. So the Democrats win, but as you can see by our legitimacy here, because everyone who was being voted for in that election is already in the government, it doesn't matter. Henry Warland did win for the presidency, though. Oh, okay. We're gonna heed their warning, and it can't be that all harming. All play no work. Who are you? You're a brigadier general. Ideology moderate. And unfortunate. I will leave him. Snow clear is great news. There we go. Now we can establish our colonies down there. Was waiting on that. This is a free government reform. For no radicals. Basically, this means you can switch parties in and out as you see fit, without gaining radicals from doing so. So yeah. So we're getting money now. As you can see, I have low government wages and high taxes, so it's not like I'm cucking this AI from a limited, you know, budget. Censorship, yeah, fat chance. Yeah, I'm sure they would like to censor people, but I'm good. This is the United States of America. We're gonna go identification documents here. Well, that's 4 years. That's not good. 5 years. Anything else? I'll go chemical bleaching. Go to our buildings. And we'll go water tube boilers. Water tube boilers. Water tube boilers. And we're gonna go to pig iron tools at least here. Steel mills. We'll want the best mirror process. Water tube boiler. Water tube. We'll want to be producing rifles with cannons. Modernizing the arsenal, which is bada bing, bada boom. Less migration attraction, modern rifle. Okay, yeah, for 9 years, or less arms industry research grant. I'll take the research. Undiscovered plant species. We'll get minor progress. I don't care about the extra prestige. Ungol people migrating to Montana, which is up here. Overview, we can see a bunch of people now coming in from an expected migration. Easy. We wait for nightfall. We also happen to be blowing money on this western frontier. You can see your additional expenses here. We're developing the can opener and expedition budget, so that's not helping. We can check our infamy. Yeah, we're infamous. Which is fine. I don't give a crap. Because at this point, if anyone wants to land on it, would take an actual, like, we'll improve over here, but genuinely it would take an actual, like, Voltron power team of UK Britain together to come clap me at this point. I mean, GDP do go burr. Imperative we find that settlement and organize workshops. Peaceful intentions, and we'll see if there's anyone here to guide us. So that means we only need one more. One more progression to complete the expedition. Yep, cool. We got the Salt Lake City, so we get prestige. So if we go to journal now, you can see here we can still investigate. The reason we want to do this is because Oregon border dispute. We own all of Wyoming, all of Montana. We eventually will do. We got to improve our relations. And all the frontier has been mapped. Or we own Washington, Idaho, and Oregon, which means at that point for, you know, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, we need to go to war with them, which we don't. We'd rather, much rather take it peacefully. And so on that note, journal, decisions, map the frontier, we know the person for the job. And we'll take our admiral here, Isaac Hall, send him on a little trip. Mountain-sided. We can't spare the time. Easy. Thomas Jessup is a moderate, so he's too valuable. Look here in journal. I know there's something about whaling industry at some point, but quite simply for all of the building things like this, expand mine in Virginia, that's an AI thing. Bear-sided. We're gonna try to play it safe. That's a damn shame. Migrants attracted is always good. And we're going to mobilize, defend, advance. It's one of the bigger territories left that we're colonizing, so it's kind of good that they fired. The extra infantry hit is definitely tough. And we're going to, now that we have enough money, as far as I'm concerned, unpause. Unpause the building. I'd have to say at this point in the game, if you are really wanting to never put your eyes on building your market out at all, and you don't care about that part of the game, that this mod is really good. But it's also a thing of, from what my point of view is that doing the market micromanaging with the buildings and everything. We'll go boom China. I'm just kind of maxing this one. I know we need it, but also I'm just wanting to see how this copes. Like, I know we need this because if I look at market, we can see here dyes is like too much. We can see here booze is still too much. Grain is still too much. We need more groceries to pump that even lower to get our inequality up, because inequality is still really, or loyalists are still low, radicals are rising due to standards of living and political movement demands, which is that enact censorship, which can go screw itself. Standard of living, fired from buildings. So generally, the biggest thing is standard of living. Investing in Hawaii. We have an interest in Oceania. So what we're actually going to do now, declare our interest. Pull from Indochina. Declare Oceania. Bad news. We're going to lose progress. Party never ends. We're going to influence Hawaii. Which should have added it to our journal. No? Really? Okay, well, whatever. Explorer's life for me. Reduce the peril of the expedition there. Yeah, I'm just seeing this. Oh. Oh. Yeah. Well. If I knew I could get in there and get a treaty port out of Queen, I probably would boom king. But it just seems like a lot of effort to go die in China for a treaty port that I don't think I need. Circular, just wait for nightfall. Expand iron mines in Virginia. I just... Oh, we are doing it. Oh, okay, so it does pay attention to stuff like this. New quest. Okay, cool. We're gonna find fulfillment. Spread the word. Peaceful intentions. Please guide us. The dream can't be that harming. Battalions in reserve. Great Plains is actually big enough. Wow. Okay. Good joke. You're not bad. Go to journal. Hawaii ever pop up here? No. Okay, good joke. Economic dominance. Okay, he is kind of the journal. I'm just gonna unpin because I don't care. So whatever the Hawaii thing was, it never kind of popped up. Kind of sucks. We have a declared interest in Oceania. Oh, here, okay. So, yep, so... Yeah, so we gain a claim. And now we go in, like we did to IRL. We'll heed their warning. And, yeah, she knows these paths. Fairly certain we have a claim on this, don't we? Ah, return state, there we go. Snow clears, great news. That's another thing, if somebody could make a mod that all of these pop-ups, just remove all of them, please. Lordy. Cool. Mobilize Zachary Taylor. Midwest HQ, Dixie HQ, Great Plains, New England HQ. We actually need to mobilize you. Because you're the person that's actually going to get on the boat first. Defend the borders, conservative, agriculture. Yeah, sure, buddy. GDP go up. And war breaks out. Nope, they secede. Easy. So we have our Hawaiian thing now. We'll incorporate. I know we don't incorporate everything, because incorporated things, incorporated states, however, people don't want to move there as often. Ludi mentioned in one of his videos that, I think maybe not Ludi, somebody did in one of their videos that I've seen on Victoria 2 mentioned that unincorporated states have bonuses to, what's it called? Bonuses to migrants, which I have seen. The debate done. Literally, I've seen nothing about that in any tooltip, so can't confirm it. It's all pretty much hearsay. But other than looking at this tooltip right here, clicking here, this, maybe. Yeah, here. On the upside for them, they are exempt from taxation. Other than literally this one sentence, there is no, like, modifier here that says unincorporated states equal more colonists, or more people moving there. So, yeah. Can be me. Mechanized. Easy. Nitroglycerin is on the way, so we'll go improved fertilizer. Buildings. Mechanized workshops. Sewing machines. Mechanized. And smith bores. Market squares. Gaslit streetlights. Public trams. And standards. Yep. And the construction manager can figure out what to do with that, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, I love bureaucracy. But, take that. Perfect place to build fort. We'll do that because there's a chance that on other expeditions in the future, we can come back to that fort to gain progress and reduce peril for free. We're currently about to go in the red, so we'll pause for a bit. Probably not the best time to pause building, but I don't want to just start tanking our principal, so I'm good. Miracle Life, we're gonna take the baby. Because if we get into a native village, then they're just gonna help us a lot because we have a baby. We're gonna wait for nightfall. Hawaiian people are migrating to Texas. That's funny. They're now also moving to Montana, as they are now a state in part of the United States. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Utah. What are we, gardeners? Quite frankly put, I don't care about all the little things, especially on this expedition. We're already so many modifiers with the fort and the baby on this expedition. I don't want to screw it up. This video is kind of longish, but mainly I'm just trying to run. I want to at least run this for another 10 years. So at the very least, if somebody just clicks on the video and is like, oh, does the mod actually work? Skips to end, then they can sort of see, hey, yeah, in paper it did work. Is this better than a real human playing? Almost certainly not. I would... we might as well go hunt it. 50-50 either way. But yeah, if somebody could make a mod on literally like day 3 of the game being out that could play the game micro-wise better than an actual human being, then what are you doing making mods for Paradox? You should, like, be enrolled in Harvard, going to something, dude. Like, holy hell. Whoever this is, I don't care. Declare neutrality. We're leaking money, so we're just gonna resume. I don't care anymore. We're in a position that's too awkward. One thing we can do is market, cancel that, garbage. Trade routes. See here, fabric. Losing a lot, so we can gain some money from fabric really quick. Unproductive trade routes, go bye-bye. I'm gonna keep that the same. We can see here we're like a ton of fabrics headed out. That's mainly what we're looking for. Is a lot of what we need headed out. We'll tax that. Next thing, we need a crap load of iron, so we need to import it. That from the British is good, that from the French is a good start. We need tools in a big way. So tools, we're going to import 600 from the French, or from the British, a bunch more from the French. We also need dynamite. We're going to import that. We also need more tools in a big way. We're going to import from the Queen, from that, from the Dutch, from the Russians, from the Mexicans, from the Brazilians, and from the Dutch, or the Danes. Iron, import from the Dutch, from the Russians, from the Mexicans, from the Brazilians, and from Queen. Wood, import from the Russians, from the Queen, from the British, from the Dutch, from the Brazilians, from the Danes. We need coal, import from the British and from the French. Still need wood. We just need it. So we're just gonna ham over fist, take an ass load of, and the game is going to shit itself. Oh! Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh. The game proceeds to lose its collective shit as we literally rearrange the global GDP. Yeah, they want a trading agreement now, so we're gonna do that. That's favorable for both of us. So what a trade agreement does is it gets rid of the embargoes. Like all of this stuff we're doing right here, gets rid of that. Like they no longer get taxed, on example, on this 167K of fabric they're taking from us. They're not getting charged this 20% tariff. The trade agreement annuls that. Go here, propose trade agreement. Trade agreement. Diplomatic pact between countries that eliminates tariffs and bureaucracy cost of trade routes between them. So now, all of the crap that I've been mass importing, the tools, the iron, some of those explosives from the French no longer cost me bureaucracy and tariffs. And the French, on the back, on all of that fabric they're importing, for I assume they're clothes factories, aren't costing them jack squat either. That's why being a part of the British market is really good and really strong, because you can trade with countries all over the earth with access to literally every market and good on the earth with no bureaucracy cost and no tariff. So you can be playing as the Hudson Bay Company, and oh no, I need dyes. Well, you're in luck, because I'm sure someplace in Siam has readily access to a bunch of dyes that they're going to ship to you for literally flat rate, no tariff. No tariff, no bureaucracy. So it's, yeah, it's great. It's stand up job, really good. Gold rush, spread the word. I do notice that even though we're kind of in an economic crisis, this thing is continually pumping regulars. Like a lot of regulars. Like more and more regulars. I mean, don't get me wrong, it helps with my prestige. But good lord, chill out on the regulars. Like, yikes. The dream, it can't be all that harming. Wait for nightfall. And declare neutrality. Yep. There's an election. I don't care about the election, because everyone who was being voted for was already in election. Guaranteed liberties would be kind of nice, but hey. But for now, we're gonna do secret police, because I've heard some people in different comment sections and Twitch chats saying that secret police is the end-all be-all to reducing radicals, so we're gonna do that. The duel. Who's fighting? Trade Union, Intelligentsia. We're in a band dueling. We don't want either of those factions guys dying. We're gonna pause this and increase tax so we can actually gain money. One thing we should be doing as well in tech, society, mutual funds. I want to get mutual funds so that way I can switch everything to stock exchange. I haven't fully worked out how the investment pool works. From investment source here, we can see from everything that works on getting boyos to run. Here, publicly traded, getting capitalist. The more capitalist here, so see privately owned versus publicly. The more capitalist, the... Holy crap. So we can get rid of all of these unproductive trade routes. And recess the market. Yeah, looks like they kind of fixed most of everything. We could do some clothes, at least temporarily. So we'll ship in a... if you saw there. That's 500 clothes from the French market. So basically, we're shipping them cloth for free to make clothes, which then we're buying back for free, really. So, it all works around. And we're going to buy a bunch of crap from the French market of clippers. Can we steal more stuff from the French market? No. We'll steal that from the Spanish, though. Well, not even steal. We're just paying. Cloves. We're already getting the French market stuff. So that's whatever. Some fish. Yeah, we'll take 90 from Quing and 50 from the Spains. And take 105 from the Aussies on coal. Screw that. Grain? Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're gonna take 1k from Queen. You betcha I'm taking that much. Ship it over. It's literally our entire deficit on grain, on the imbalance. Hand it over. Yeah, so this is gonna fix a lot of stuff. But yeah, you can sort of see there the advantages. I'm glad I got an example to show it off in this video. Of the advantages of having a trade agreement between major powers. So, in single player, it's really important to get past embargo walls and tariff walls by AI countries. But it's also extremely effective in multiplayer games. Like, for example, you could be playing as the United States of America and you're producing a ton of cotton, and, you know, you come here and you're like, dang, a lot of people are... You can cancel all these. You're like, okay, I need tools. Well, what's happening to my tools? Well, no tools are coming out. I'm just buying tools. Well, okay. So you can see here, like, I need fabric. Okay, where's all my fabric going? Well, Mexico's buying some of it, that's fine. And the French are buying a ton of it. If you don't like the French, then you can switch it to tariffs on exports, which then is going to tariff them. It's a good way, but it's also a thing of, like, you know, then if the French are like, well, that's screwing you over. But for you, example, they're trying to build a ton of clothes, and you don't have a ton of clothes, right? So we're actually getting here we're getting more. See, the thing is right here, American market, French market, clothes import route, right? We are importing more clothes into the United States right now than we're making in all of our textile mills combined. And because of that, clothes are normalized. Just the French imports have completely normalized the clothes in the American market. So it shows you the power of helping each other in multiplayer games. So Brazil wants to be in an alliance. I'm going to accept that because Monroe Doctrine and all that. And yeah, they're going to propose a trade agreement, which we're going to accept immediately. Eventually, it would be nice if we could get them into a customs union, but that's probably not going to accept because of the fact that they've already expanded their own customs union. No agreement there. It's just not adjacent. But yeah, so the Brazilian Customs Union, boom, Brazil. So what we can do is now we can actually go to market. We need paper. Let's import. We can see here Brazilian. We'll import from the Brazilians and the French, because we know we're getting that for a way better deal. For no bureaucracy. We know dyes. Well, we'll get our dyes from the French and the Brazilians. We need some glass. Okay, let's import. Well, might as well be the French. No Brazilian option. And it's not taking us bureaucracy to do this. We need ammunition. Let's import. Well, why not from the French? Oh, we need some American alcohol? Okay. Why not the Brazilians? And the French. Oh, we need chairs. Okay. Well, let's buy some from... French are too expensive. That's because the French have more expensive chairs than even us. So this number comes from... the French chair market is actually more expensive than ours. So generally how it works is... like, building everything all at once, unless you're literally the British Empire, and it's very hard. So you've got to focus on what's good for you and what other people want from you. So like building here, if I go to market, I go to trade routes, I can see here what I'm exporting. I'm exporting fabric. So ideally, if I'm trying to get more countries to trade with me, I should build more fabric. You know, that it's just kind of like, yeah. So wine, import, French, and why not the Russians as well? And you see here we lost bureaucracy. It's because we did the Russians. Porcelain import. We're losing out on that, so we're not going to do that. So we're going to do the Russians. You can't import trams. Sulfur we can import from the French. Mana Wars. Definitely the French have some of these laying around. And the Brazilians are more expensive than ours. Lead. I'm sure the French have some lead laying around. Expensive clothes. Yeah, definitely the... Where's the French? No, they're only doing normal. So we'll import some luxury clothes from Qing. Because we do have a trade agreement, I believe, with Qing. Nope, they must have removed it. Sad. Coffee, let's import. Maybe Brazil has some. No. The French do. And Siak has a great price on it, so we'll do that in El Salvador. And the Spaniards. I'm just doing that because it's good prices. If it's a really good price, I just kind of do it anyway. Food. Let's import. So yeah, we have food about zeroed. Once you get down to average price, see, importing stuff into the market works really well to get the initial number, like driving it closer to zero, but it doesn't work well for driving it below zero. I'm sure in your multiplayer games, there will be opportunities to where you can drive the number way below zero, because I'm sure the markets will be extremely strong there, and there will be some people who will way overproduce on one item in particular, planning for people to attempt to buy a bunch of that from them. We failed the expedition. That's really terrible. Ugh. So yeah, we know the person for the job. That's an Alba. I don't care. And we're just gonna storm through this at this point. No more safe road BS here. We did set up the fort, so we do get some better chances here. We're gonna unpause our building efforts. We have some investment pool built up, so that'll help, like, temporarily buffer that for a little bit. Crooked connections. I don't care about the intelligentsia, quite frankly. Not that, I'll be honest, the way I'm doing the political system is more try to bull rush through things to see their effects, rather than a natural, like, long-term healthy political system, because I don't see this campaign, I'm not trying to actually play this campaign for an extended period of time, because it's mainly about testing out world GDP growing, which seems to be working just fine, if not better than average. I mean, it's not tanking everything. That's Italian unification there that did that huge jump. I mean, generally line go up. I mean, this is about what he showed on his page, was that, you know, it's like the AI in general increased their GDPs, which is fine. Do I recommend people play with this mod enabled? I'm just gonna have to say no for the AI GDP increaser. For the simple reason that it's been proven by Bo Cohen in their big multiplayer game. When too many countries get too big, the game don't run anymore. Like, the game just doesn't run. And in my single-player games, the game chugs later on. So, no need to exacerbate the problem for yourself by making the game chug. But yeah, we can see here, we're lacking iron wood, so we're building iron wood. We're lacking transport services a little bit, and probably some infrastructure in the state, so we're building infrastructure. Gold is good to build, so we're building gold. I mean, in general, the AI building seems to be doing its job. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. I mean, by 1864, Ludi in his video had the Japanese up to like 64 million GDP, which is on our current track a lot higher than I'm going to be as the United States, which is insane, right? That the Japanese shogunate has more GDP than the USA. It means there's something I'm doing fundamentally wrong with building GDP, and there's something that this is doing wrong, fundamentally building GDP, that one, the people in the Bokoen games, and the people in Ludi, De Historia, is doing. I can't for the life of me figure it out. Oh, really? Okay, well. He all for it himself. That's... yeah. It's in grave danger, but we're just screaming towards the end here, which is probably going to fail now that he died, which is whatever. I don't care at this point. Nationalism unlocked. Yeah, I don't care. I'm not doing that anymore. But yeah. Ton of radicals, not a lot of loyalists. So what this is, beyond just a pump buildings for whatever seems to be high simulator, I don't see much more beyond that, and it also seems to be unable to actually edit these. So it's pumping the clothing, right? This is what I don't like about this. It's pumping the clothing because if you look here in the market, let's look at normal clothing. Don't really need it right now. It's trying to build for luxury clothing. But unless you manually come and change, say, Pennsylvania's refinery here to craftsman sewing, that's not going to actually change. But even then, when I do that, we have a huge demand for silk now, which means I need to go and import from Qing and the British to pay now. So if we go back to buildings in the Pennsylvania refinery, we now actually have the silk we need for when this finishes upgrading to actually produce those what is it? Luxury clothes that we need in the market to drive this price down. So it's on how impressed I am with this. I mean, I guess if you don't like queuing stuff, it's nice. But in general, it's kind of meh. I mean, I probably would be making a lot more money if it wouldn't have spanned out 113. I started the game with 11 conscripts, or with 11 regulars. I now have 113 regulars. I'm sure if I was playing a multiplayer campaign, or a multiplayer game, where everybody was spamming regulars like this, I would need this. But in single player, quite frankly put, I don't. I don't need 113 regulars, especially as a country which runs on militia. Where is it? I'm just completely blind, I'm sorry. But yeah, national militia. Standing army is small, but local militias can be activated to defend their homes. That's the whole point, is that you don't have a, sorry. So we have Abraham Lincoln now, a bit late, buddy. We don't have a lot of regulars, but we have a ton of conscripts. That was inherently the problem with the United States military, really all the way up to World War II, and even beyond then. We saw it in the invasion of Cuba. The Spanish military, with their repeating rifles, really outranked the breech-loaded American relics from the Civil War at that point that they were using to invade Cuba, and they were totally outmatched. They only won because of mass hordes, and the Spanish were a declining empire at that point, and they couldn't afford the war. America just beat them because they had more troops. It was like 10 to 1 odds. We didn't, yeah, it's mass regulars. That's kind of the whole spiel. Or mass conscripts, not this. And the reason I say that is because if we go to... Well, one, I want to check. See, that's another thing. They don't actually, when these are recruited, I think. Okay, because I added them early, they're all the same skirmish. But that's another thing. So if somebody can tell me in the comments below if there's an option to change all of these at once without having to want to blow my brains out by manually doing this and switching them all to the next tech, I would much appreciate that. But on the terms of, like, just, I don't know, like, do I need this many conscripts? I mean, Lord, I don't, like, really? This many? I mean, I can go to any state and probably find, yeah, some regulars here, and they take up ammunition, small arms, and artillery, and they hire people, that's fine, but like 100, they hire government wages. Look here at wages. Yeah, military, 31k in military wages. Imagine if I wasn't paying 31k in military wages, and I was paying like 4k for those like standing army I had. I would be positive on cash right now. I'm sure you could say, well, just go here and lower it down. Well, no, it doesn't help. It's not that big of a decrease. It's only 15%. 15% is not enough. I need a 95% decrease, which is just not having 113 freaking regulars. I don't know. On the terms of the other AI being more GDP efficient, I mean, it looks right from his Steam Workshop depictions. I mean, it definitely doesn't screw them up. I mean, these are definitely good increases, especially on Austria. This is the best I've ever seen Austria do. Great Queen is actually going up, which is better. Especially when they get invaded and actually lose treaty ports and stuff. This is way better than they normally do. So, I mean, overall, I'd say, like, yeah, it does work. This is better than what I've seen. On the terms of the auto building mod, I don't see much use in it. There's still too much micro that you have to do yourself. And I'll be honest, playing this game on 5 speed is not how you play this game. You play this game here. This. And you are like, even this is like too much at times. And you are in here, factory. Okay, I need textile mills, and you're in here, and your individual Pennsylvania ones are going to be these, and blah blah blah. Like, you're microing your industry. That's the whole point of this game. Because if I look through here, like, this motor thing is making not enough. We need to click here. Cash reserves are down. Well, this is because we don't have enough demand for motor. So if we go to budgets, not budgets, market, we can see here we need more transportation. Well, what we can do to actually really supercharge this, kind of bankrupt the economy immediately, but yeah, we'll go condensing engine, and yeah, we can get a lot less laborers if we do rail transportation. Not really important for us because we have the people, but this can become ever increasingly more important if you're a smaller country with smaller population. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. This is pretty long checkout of this mod. I mean, GDP do go up with this auto build thing. It definitely takes the vast majority of the fun out of the game. I guess if you're in a multiplayer game, this would be useful, but also at the same point, I don't see people ever playing above speed 3 in multiplayer being realistic, because there's absolutely no way people are going to be microing wars and economies on a speed like this, or even be able to run a speed like that stabilized in multiplayer. It's just not possible. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all that I have to say about these. If you like content like this, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does help the algorithm show that you enjoy content and content like this. But yeah, I think both mods are good. I think this production mod is limited by maybe the code itself. I mean, it really needs to get more intrusive, as far as I'm concerned, to be useful. It needs to get more intrusive. It needs to be able to manipulate these numbers to its own means. Also, ideally, this is probably not possible, but in an ideal world, it will be able to manipulate this and go, okay, I need dynamite, import. Nope, I can't import. Checksum can't import dynamite, whatever. Build in ideal location, freaking chem plant. Build chem plant. Upgrade to antibiotic soda processes to get more explosives in total, please. You know, it needs to be able to do something like that. And then recognize that this is a, you know, oh, this is our throughput problem that's crashing the economy because we're running out of steel, and push this to the front of the production queue. There's something like that. I mean, good lord, you're practically coding in the game to play itself at that point. But this is just like, I don't know. No offense to the mod, but this is like the coat of paint on a turd. Like, of really what's not good about this game is this. Like, the first problem is this, right? Not even the paper mill. It's this, textile mills. I need textile mills specialized to make luxury goods, but also to make non-luxury goods. So when this happens, somebody either needs to make a mod or Paradox needs to get off their ass. And this, when I literally hit this on some of these, instead of just being this lazy-ass button that I can only manipulate all of them at once and then have to manually do this, this just needs to split into two separate boxes with two separate frames here. Maybe if you want to indent it a tiny bit to show it's the same type of building. And it needs to be textile mills, production focused up here, non-luxury production in quotations, and down here, textile mills, craftsman suing in quotations here. So that way you can be like, okay, I need a ton of these, so I'm going to use, you know, the tools that I need on the more expensive, harder to complete craftsman suing, but for non-luxury clothing, I'm just going to spam out a bunch of dye workshops and import a crap ton of dye from my overseas colonies and not worry about it, and just build triple the amount of that and not worry about tools throughput, you know, something like that. It would just really help. But yeah, that's the end of my rant. For the GDP increase thing, for the AI at the end of the day, it's going to cause performance issues with the game. It's cool. It seems like it works. But at the end of the day, as been shown by the multiplayer games that have been happening so far, you're going to reach a GDP cap that will eventually just lag your game to high hell and you won't be able to progress. And on top of that, for this production manager mod, it seems to work very basically of whatever is here, high market price. In your market, it spams buildings to course correct this, while also for some reason spamming out a metric ass ton of regulars. So it seems to keep up with building bureaucracy as you need it, so that's nice. But other than that, I don't know. I mean, you can do that. You have half a brain cell. And I feel like most of the people who have the ADHD brain enough to sit here and micro one freaking state of Missouri to get maximum lead mine output is probably the same type of person who actually put in the effort to, you know, when they queue a bureaucracy thing, to alt-click it to the top of the queue. You know, I feel like people can do that. I don't know. Like, I love the concept of this. I just feel like in an actual playthrough of the game, it just, I don't know. I don't like it. It just doesn't... I don't like it because, quite frankly put, it's not producing stuff that's good, and it has produced stuff that I know I definitely don't need and is hampering my economy in a big way. And it's not even like if it knew some secret code into the matrix that I didn't, and my GDP looked like this, which is what it looks more like in the multiplayer games, like more of like an actual cliff instead of this slow climb, I can do this. I can do this and still struggle. Okay, like I can do this. I don't need this to do this while also giving me all this garbage. But, you know, that's just my opinion. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If I did something wrong with these mods, if I'm looking at this the wrong way or something's gone wrong, leave a comment down below. I'll read it. And if it's something short, and yeah, I don't know if there's anything that would be big enough to justify another video on these two things without an update from the mods themselves. But yeah, that'll be all for this time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.